A new era begins at Tottenham next season as Thomas Frank is tasked with taking us up a level while also balancing Champions League football. This summer is massive, so I'm going to break down who I think we need to target. Firstly, I want to focus on left back because while we have one of the best prospects in world football, Udogie is fantastic. He cannot do that role by himself, and we need a rotation option because we've not really had that since Davies and Rose, and that was one of the things that worked so well in that era, having a rotation option when you've got a cup game or when you've got a slightly weaker opponent in the league. We've already seen the likes of Ait Nouri and Kirkesh transfer this summer, so my next dream option would be Anthony Robinson, which I don't think is particularly realistic because I think Fulham would want about 35-40 million. I don't know how happy he'd be to be a backup option to Udogie, but what a player. So good going forward, so good defensively, so much Prem experience. You know, 6th most tackles in the league last year, 2nd most interceptions, 10 assists. He is a fantastic player. I can't see this one happening, but I would love it. Then you've got Tyreek Mitchell, who has so much Prem experience. He had the 9th most tackles in the league last year, 5 assists as well. He's obviously homegrown, which fits the bill well as well. I think with Palace now having European football, it's not a realistic option either, but I would love to go for him. Kyle Walker-Peters is probably your most realistic option here. I know he's officially a right back, however he can play on the left. I know his name is bandied around with Tottenham every summer, and I know he went down with Southampton, but he's very experienced in the Prem. I think as a backup option, it would work really well, and he's looking like he's going to be a free agent. I wouldn't say no to this personally. I know this list is exclusively Premier League players. I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about options abroad. I did a little bit of research. Maxim de Kuyper, I think the defensive side of his game is a little bit weaker. Gutierrez, who plays for Girona, I think for him, he's not really proven enough yet. Joel Hatto, I've watched a little bit of him. You know, he's strong on the ball. He's powerful. He's predominantly a centre-back, but he's played on the left. He gets a couple of assists as well. But I do think none of these lot, as is always the risk when you sign abroad, haven't got any Premier League experience. A name that keeps coming up with Spurs fans is Dennis Sirkin. You know, he come through at Tottenham. He's now at Sunderland. He's done very well there. They're promoted. They're going to be in the Premier League next season. He averaged about 2.99 tackles per 90 last season. I personally wouldn't take the risk on this one yet because, again, he's got no Premier League experience, and I just think that step up can sometimes be a little bit too much for some of these players. Left backs are so hard to come by in modern football. We really have found a gem in Destiny Udogie. However, we need to protect him. You know, the best teams have a backup option. I'm not expecting someone to be as good as him, just someone who can step in with all the cup games, the Champions League next season, you know, the Premier League as well. I know people will say about Jed Spence can play there. Yes, he can. I'd rather he predominantly stay on that right side with Porro as well, and we have an option. This is just part one. This is just an opinion. What do you think?